Hey everyone, this is Russell and welcome you guys to the webinar. If you can hear me right now, please say yes over in the question box. Oh, you guys are already throwing out inner marketing slang to me. Awesome, awesome. Okay, guys and gals, we got a lot of you guys on, and I hope you guys are fired up. This is the beginning of the new Blackbox training, and I seriously cannot been able to sleep for the last 2 weeks or so as I've been putting this whole thing together because literally I look at everything that we've taught and trained on over the last 10 years here in our company, and this is like the epitome of that. It's all these the best pieces put into one funnel and one format that I think is easy to implement, and I think can give you the most return the fastest on any idea, anything you're doing, and that's why I'm so excited for it. And I'm excited for you guys. I think that this will be the turning point in a lot of your guys' career for those who've been doing this kind of stuff for a while. And so, as you know, if you went through some of the handouts and stuff I sent you guys throughout the last couple of days, this is the first of 8 core training webinars we're going to be going over. And basically what's happening is each of these webinars is happening on a Tuesday. And then and if you're watching this live, then it's live right now. If you're watching this afterwards, these ones will be recorded, so you have a chance to watch those. And then from Tuesday till Friday, inside the members area, there's going to be a little spot where you can actually go and you can submit video or audio questions for me specifically. And it's a really cool format where I have the ability to respond back to you really easily through video or through audio. And so you can ask me directly questions like that throughout the week. And then at the end of the week on Friday, most Fridays, unless obviously something's happening around the office or whatever, we'll have open office hours where you can call in and talk to either me, Brent Co-Peters on my team, who runs all the operations of our business, but also runs all of our affiliate management stuff and solo ads and list buying and a bunch of stuff like that, or John Parks, who does all of our traffic generation, Facebook, things like that. And so basically you can call in and ask us questions specific to any of those things or whatever you want. And so it's kind of fun. We're going to have a lot of one-on-one time with us between sessions and each week, because we want to make sure that you guys get each of these concepts dialed in, implemented, and making you money. Because what I want more than anything out of this is I want a ton of success stories, because it just makes me look good, and it makes you guys a lot of money, and it's just it makes everything a lot more fun seeing success stories at the end of this. So that's kind of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And so yeah, if you guys have questions, like I said, this is the most, I think, hands-on we've ever had in any training program we've done before, and we're doing that because we care about you guys and we want you guys to have a lot of success. So I'm fired up. I hope you guys are as well. Let's see, what else do I need to cover? Yeah, that's about it. So this first module is going to be a little different than the rest of the modules. For those of you guys who I talked to you specifically about this training program, the reason why it's different than I think any other training program is it's not going to be, outside of today's lesson will be kind of like this, where I'm kind of more giving you information than sending you out to go work. All the rest of them is going to be literally like an over-the-shoulder coaching program where you're sitting behind me, looking over my shoulder and watching me do something, and then you just do the exact same thing, just copy it. And what I found in the past is that's how people have had the most success. So instead of me saying, here's the theory about why you should do blah, 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 I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. And so, for example, we're actually going to be building out an entire funnel with you. And you're going to see me do everything. You're going to see me buy my logo, get the domain. We're going to see me set up the hosting. You're going to see me build a funnel. You're going to see me how I pick my niche. Like everything you guys have a chance to actually see. And all you've got to do is literally just replicate that with whatever business it is that you're in. And so if you are a good copier, which that's, if you look at my business, I was showing some of you guys recently we did our Decade in the Day full day virtual webinar, and I was showing you guys how my business is literally that. We see somebody else's stuff looks awesome and we model it, we copy it, we make it look similar. And I want you guys to do the same thing. Obviously you're not going to copy my product or my idea or anything like that, but you're going to copy the process. And if you just copy it, clone it, follow the exact same steps I do, you should be able to get very similar results as well. And so that's kind of the game plan. Let me think of any other house cleaning things before we dive into this. I think that's the core stuff. So like I said, this very first training is a little bit different just because there are some foundational stuff that I want you guys to think about. And I know that a lot of you guys, you already kind of know what market you want to be in. And so this is the stuff, though, if you don't quite know yet, this is going to help you make that very clear. And if you do know the market you're going to be in, this is going to help you to make sure that you are going the right direction within that market. I can't tell you how many of our students have come through that we've done work with from both you know, one-on-one coaching or group coaching or whatever it might be, who they've spent weeks or months or even years like going down this path, chasing this dream in a market they're passionate about, but because they made the wrong decisions up front, you look at a year from now and they're just clear off course. And so I really think that if we spend a little time this initial training and get everyone focused the right direction, make sure you pick the right niches, make sure you're kind of going the right direction, then everything you do moving forward will be correct, and it'll be so much easier to get to your end destination. And so that's kind of the game plan. That's why we have the other coaching elements in place for you guys. So you can ask me if you get stuck and say, you know, this is my niche. You think it's good or bad? And we can kind of guide you and just make sure that you're going the right direction. That way, when you're building all the other pieces and doing all the other things, there won't be any mistakes along the way. Okay? All right. So that is it. And we're going to dive in, you guys. If you have any questions along the way, again, for those who are live right now, you can ask me in the future. If this is a recording that you're watching in the future, then all you got to do, obviously, is message us throughout the week, and we will get it for you as well. Okay, so I'm going to jump right in. I've also sent you guys all a PDF download. You should have it. This is what it looks like. If you do have it, print it out and have it in front of you. It's very similar to the slides that we'll be going through, but it'll give you the ability to just kind of take notes while we're going through this. Okay, all right. So this process, you guys, and this is a process I've talked about a lot over the years. I originally learned this from a really smart guy named Frank Kern, and he was teaching this concept called the underachiever formula. And later, some of you guys may know that we bought that brand from him and we've republished it, and I'm actually in the process of turning the underachiever book into a free plus shipping. So I am practicing what I preach. But the core message of the whole entire underachiever product, and what I really want to focus on right here, because this is the foundation for everything, is to be successful in this business, you guys. It's 3 steps. It's not going out there and creating what you want or what you think people are going to buy. It's kind of going at it backwards. Okay, step number 1 is you've got to find a hot market. And I'm going to show you guys in excruciating detail how to find a hot market. And the second question is not, now I found a hot market, let's go sell them something, which is what I promise you probably 80% of you guys have done in the past. Your second question is, we got to find out what these guys actually want to buy. Okay, so second question is ask them, or second step is we ask them what they want, and then third step is we just give it to them. Okay, it's very simple. People always ask me, Russell, how are you so smart? How'd you know to sell people that or whatever? I wasn't that smart. I found a market of people that wanted to buy something. I asked them what they wanted. I went and created it, and then I brought it to them. It really is that simple. Business people complicate it way too much all the time, whereas you understand if this is the process, it becomes really, really simple. So I'm going to show you guys how we go through this 3-step process so that you'll understand all the pieces and you make sure you're picking the right market. I'm going to show you the right way to ask them so that they will tell you what they want, and then we're going to show you kind of how to give that to them in a way that you can monetize and make the most amount of money with. Okay. All right. So again, step number 1 here is finding a hot market. Now, let me ask you, for those who are on this live right now, how many of you guys and gals think you have already figured out the right market? You know exactly what market you want to be in, and you're pretty confident about that. If you are right now, go to the question box and just let me know. I'm just curious how many of you guys already think you've got the right market. Okay, we got a couple of them that know. Steve's got it. He knows Forex is his market. Okay, good. So a bunch of you guys know. Some of you guys have no idea. Good. So I don't know, but I want to make sure it supports an $8,000 back end. Good. No, that's actually a really good point. Okay, what we're going to be talking about a lot, you guys, is selling something a high ticket, selling, you know, a $5 or $10 or a $1,000 thing. And a lot of that has to do with market selection. You know, one of my very first markets that I ever went into, and I will talk to you guys about this throughout this one, was the potato gun market. It was a hot market. People were looking for potato gun information. I asked them what they wanted. I created it. I sold it. I made money. But guess what? In the potato gun market, there's no one paying $8,000 for a potato gun, like a home study course or a seminar or anything. The market's very, very shallow. So you can make money in a shallow market, but you can't make a lot of money. And so it's good to find a market that can support a deep back end. So anyway, that is good. Okay, cool. All right, so step number 1 is finding a hot market. Now, let's go through how to find a hot market. The first thing that I always ask is, does it contain a large number of people? Okay. Again, the biggest problem with the potato gun market is the market's not that big, unfortunately. Like I said, you can make some money in it, but if you want to build this into a big business where you can make 6 figures or 7 figures a year, you got to make sure it's got a large enough number of people that are interested in it. And I'm gonna show you guys some ways here in a minute to kind of find out how many people are in there. But I think part of you can kind of tell. Like if you think about like if you were, if you look at in your hometown, or you look at in a typical city, like are there a bunch of people in there that are interested in that topic, or are you kind of the only one talking about it? Number two, and this is one that this one kind of makes me laugh, but people in the market are usually irrationally passionate about it. Okay, if it's a market like we had one of our students, he paid us $10,000, came through a coaching program, and he had spent so much time and energy building out this product to help Cub Scout masters, and I remember when he came to me and he's like, I found this niche. There's nobody else in. There's not a single product being sold in it. And he's like, it's going to be the greatest thing in the world. And he had spent, like I said, so much money on it. And I looked at it and I said, look, I was like, there are a lot of Cub Scout masters in the world. You're right. They're all over the place. But I'm like, but are they irrationally passionate? Do they spend insane amounts of money on dumb things? And the answer was no. And there's the reason why there's not this huge market of people selling to Cub Scout leaders. It's a big market, but they're not irrationally passionate about their topic. Okay, I look at the markets the things that I'm passionate about, and I want you guys to think about this for yourselves as well. Like what things in your life are you irrationally passionate about? Because most of those things are probably going to be a good market. Okay, for me, wrestling, I'm very passionate about it. I buy all sorts of wrestling books and shirts and T-shirts and stuff like that, right? I'm passionate about it. I look at like the MMA world. I'm very passionate about that as well. Same thing, I buy all sorts of just dumb things. Like the health and nutrition market is big for me. This morning, I would say I probably take every morning somewhere between 30 and 40 pills every morning because I'm sold on every single supplement out there. I'm drinking like this magic butter MCT oil every single morning. I talk about it with my friends. Like I'm addicted to like talking about this thing because I'm irrationally passionate about it. Okay, like I'm the kind of person who wakes up in the morning and I literally melt butter in a cup and I drink it because I'm passionate about this thing. Like, is that rational? Probably not for most people. Most of you guys want Captain Crunch for breakfast, but I'm drinking butter because I've read something and I've studied and I believe in this thing, right? And I'm passionate. Like those are the kind of markets you want to go after, where people are literally crazy. Because if you can find those, that's the kind of people that spend a lot of money. Okay, animal markets are usually pretty good. People are usually crazy about their pets. That's one key thing is just think about the people that are in the market and how passionate are they about it. And again, point back in towards you and think about the things that, like, think over the last 30 days, the dumb things you spent money on, okay? And I bet you're going to find 4 or 5 markets that are probably really good markets because they're things that you're already passionate about. You're probably reading blogs about it. You're probably on Facebook. You're probably buying stuff because you're passionate about it, right? So those are things to look at. Number 3 is that market needs to have a disposable income, okay? If they don't have money to spend, then you can't be successful there. A good example of that is actually the wrestling market. One of my mentors was a guy named Matt Fury, and he was a wrestler, and he created a bunch of wrestling products, started trying to sell them, and guess what? Wrestlers don't have money. They're a bunch of high school kids, and their parents may have money, but none of them do. And he really struggled trying to sell stuff. But then what he did is a couple years later, he's like, man, this is really hard. No one's buying it. And he started looking out there, and he saw the MMA market, which at the time was just emerging. It started growing, right? And what happened is there are all these wrestlers and karate guys and judo guys who in high school and college were doing this stuff, and they went and they got jobs and they got fat, and then all of a sudden one day they woke up and they thought, you know what, I want to be a cage fighter. And they started going to the gym to become cage fighters, and guess what? These guys have disposable income. So he's changed all his wrestling books from wrestling books to like combat conditioning and like fighting books that were like using his wrestling stuff. But how could somebody who's 35 years old and a little overweight and has some disposable income and wants to be a cage fighter, how do we teach them these skills? And boom, he turned that into a multi-million dollar a year business because he targeted the people that had disposable income. So think about that, you guys. Think about who you're targeting, okay? I would have bought a lot of wrestling stuff back when I was in college, but I was broke. Today I buy a bunch of it because I got disposable income and I want to be a cage fighter. I mean, who doesn't, right? So anyway, all right, number 4, they have their own jargon, okay? I think about this a lot in the internet marketing world, okay? Those who are passionate about internet marketing, like we are the biggest bunch of nerds in the world. If you go on Facebook, you hear people talking about autoresponders and PPC and EPCs and you know, white hat, black hat, like all these different terms. We have our own jargon we've created. And when I say things like that around my wife, she stares at me. She's like, "What in the world are you talking about? Like, what language is this?" Right? And usually in a market, people have their own jargon. Okay, we're starting to do a project in the CrossFit market right now. And I'm not a big CrossFit guy. I've done it a couple times, but I started going in there, and they have all of these these things like the workout of the day, the WOD, and they call them I don't know what they call them, but the WODs, and then you've got the all these different things, and they have this whole jargon that if you're in the CrossFit world, you know it. If you're not, you have no idea what they're talking about. Okay, and that's just kind of another sign about a passionate market because they've got their own jargon, and so think about that when you're picking a market. Like, what are the words and the terms that they use that are different? Okay. Next is they have their own magazines. One of the best ways, and I think this is on the next slide, I'll talk about this more, to see if a market is good is if there's a magazine behind it. If there's not a magazine in a niche you're going after, it might not be a good niche. I remember a couple years ago I wanted to target the athletic niche, and so I went and we built this whole big thing out to target people who are athletes. I'm like, there's billions of athletes, like we're gonna be rich, right? And then one day I was at Barnes & Noble, and I was going through the magazine stands, and I remembered somebody had told me this magazine thing. And I went to Barnes & Noble, I walked through, and I couldn't find a single magazine dedicated to athletes. And I was like, how is this possible? And I started looking closer, and there were magazines targeting different niche specifics. There were the running magazines and the martial art magazines and the cycling magazines, but there wasn't a single magazine for athletes. I started thinking maybe that market's just a little bit too big. Maybe I need to scale it back and find a niche within that market, one that actually has their own magazines. Because now, when they have their own magazines, it means there's a market, it means there's advertisers, it means there's passionate people, there's jargon. All these things come into place when there's actually a magazine in a specific market. So magazines is actually a really good indicator. Number 6 is they may hold their own conferences or events. It's another big thing to look at as well. Okay, do they have seminars and things like that happening? And then number 7, do they have their own celebrities? The other day, I was at church, and some lady came up to me, and she's like, "My husband saw one of your videos online. You're famous." And I had to correct her. I'm like, no, I'm internet famous. Big difference. I'm not real famous. I'm internet famous. And you want to find markets that have people that are internet famous. Okay, if you have like just real famous people, like that market's gonna be a lot harder. But if you go and you find people that are internet famous, like a bunch of little celebrities, micro celebrities, whatever you want to call them, internet celebrities, those are going to be good markets, because part of what we're going to be doing with you guys is targeting those celebrities over the next few weeks and also trying to turn you into one of those celebrities. And so if there's already people that have trailblazed and built that ground and built audiences already for those things, it's a million times easier for you to come in and to piggyback off of the work they've already done. Okay, if you're going to a market that doesn't have any celebrities right now, a lot of times it's going to be difficult to break through those barriers and be able to go in there and dominate and have a presence. Okay, again, it comes back to like the Cub Scout example. Like if you want to be the #1 Cub Scout guru in the world, I'm sure you could do it. But guess what? Because there's nobody there right now, there's probably not much money there right now. Okay, go out there and find like weight loss celebrities or health and fitness or like things like that, making money, finance. Whatever it is, look for the gurus, look for the celebrities, whatever you want to call them, and if they're there, that's a great sign. It means somebody's trailblazed it for you, and then we can see a very clear path on how to follow up. Okay, so those are some of the things I look at. I'm trying to find a hot market. So here's 8 ways to see if a market's hot or not. First off, like I said, go and check out magazine racks. If there's not a magazine about it, it's probably not as big of a niche as you might think. Because especially if you go to like the big magazine stores, there's a magazine on just about everything out there. Number 2, going to bookstores and seeing if there's books about it. If people aren't writing books about it and they're on the shelf, probably not a big enough market to go after. Okay, there's actually one dude who wrote a book on potato guns. I think it's called the Ballistic Cannon Bible or something like that. Anyway, I got a copy of it. But he's the only other dude besides me I know who's selling potato gun stuff. So it's not a big market. But if you go there and you look at natural food or anything else in the world, there's just a million books on it. You know those are going to be good spots. Again, go to magazines.com, good place to look for magazines. Amazon.com, a great place to look for digital books, digital magazines, things like that. Clickbank.com. Clickbank.com is the #1 digital retailer of ebooks prior to Amazon obviously dominating the world. But prior to that, Clickbank was the biggest in the world. And there's ebooks being sold on just about every single niche you can dream of. So you go to clickbank.com, click on the marketplace, and start scrolling through, and you'll see just all sorts just tons and tons and tons of books and products. And if other people are selling it, again, it's probably a good sign. If you're the first one to come up with the idea, I would definitely run away from it. Okay. Number 6 is talking to passionate people. Have you ever noticed, like, when you go to a party or a seminar or a convention or whatever, and you meet people, and there's people that are just like bored out of their mind all the time, right? And there's people that are passionate about everything. I love listening to crazy passionate people because those are where I find my best markets. Not that this person is crazy, but they're very passionate. And I was hanging out with him. In fact, we're doing this whole product for this around this, and I went to dinner and we were eating sushi. And he starts talking about gold and silver and all this stuff. And I'd heard about it in the past and bored me to death. Didn't care about it at all. And he sat there for like 3 hours teaching me about it. And I was like enthralled. He was so passionate about it and the excitement. I was just like, oh, I'm into it. And after I went and bought books on gold and silver, I invested. I like did a whole bunch of stuff because his passion level was contagious. And so every time I meet someone who's passionate about a topic, I listen. Even if I'm not passionate about it, I listen to their passion, because usually if someone's that excited by it, again, there's a good sign that's going to be a hot market for me to go after. Number 7 is listening to other people's problems. One of the best ways to create any kind of product is finding out someone's problem and then just solving it. And number 8, this is going to be some of you guys' homework for tonight, is you got to watch TV. The more TV you watch, the more weird things you're going to find out about. No, but seriously, if people have a TV channel around a topic, that's probably a good sign that there are people interested in it, that it's a good, deep enough niche that you can go into. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff you guys to start thinking about as far as your markets you're going into. Okay, now here's some market filters that we created for you that'll help speed up this process. Okay, so question number 1 is there a large enough target market for information related to this area? Okay, that's the first question you got to ask yourself. How big is that market? Okay, there's a lot of ways to do that. I sent you guys in the handout, there was this finding and filtering hot markets worksheet. You can go through this, it'll answer all the questions. But this is how I find out how big a market is. So there are a lot of tools out there to do keyword research. I'm going to show you guys a couple that are free, just because free or close to free, just so you can start with those, and then you can go from there. So Jaxy.com is one that I use, called JAAXY.com. And again, you can get it for free initially. So let's see, I'm going to go there real quick for you. JAAXY.com. So you go there, and I think they have a free. I think you get 30 searches for free. So this at least gives you the ability to go and kind of start searching. So I typed in potato gun here, and if you look at this month, there were 10,000 people searching for the keyword potato gun. If you take spud gun, there are about 3,000 for spud gun, 4,300 for potato cannon, 1,037 potato gun plans. I'll make this a little bigger so you guys can see it. You notice it only gives me like the top 10 or 12, but this gives me enough to know if a market is good. Okay, make potatoes. I got almost 5,000 potato gun launcher. So you kind of see those numbers there. So if I want to add this all up, 10,000, 13, 17, 20, we might be at 25,000 or so. And so that is a very small niche. About 25,000. When I look at that, I'm like, that niche is probably not quite big enough for what I would want to go after. Typically, we did when we made our potato gun product. But typically, I want a market that's going to be bigger. I would say the lowest I would ever go after is about 30,000. Like, that's on the low side. I want the keyword volume to be higher, closer to like 50 to 80,000 or above. If I can get around there, like the bigger usually the better at that point. So if I get to 80,000 or so, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a really good niche. If I'm stuck at 25, 15,000, I might be like, this isn't quite big enough for me. Okay. Sometimes you got to type in a couple different things, because someone types in potato guns, but spud guns could be a whole different thing. So let me think. If I look for natural health, type in natural health and see what comes up. I'm guessing this one will be a big one. As we are live, of course, it takes forever. Anyway, like I said, there's other keyword research as well, but I like Jaxy just because it gives me a lot of really cool things. All right, so natural health. So just where natural health's got 69,000 searches a month. Natural remedies got 64,000. Natural health magazine. So you see, this is a big market. Just the top 2 keywords were already at like 130,000 people. So I know that, boom, that's probably going to be a really good market. Let's type in like yoga. I got from some friends that do a lot of things in the yoga market. Steve just posted that Forex has got 3.8 million this month. Yeah, Forex is probably a hot niche. Good one to go after. Okay, so yoga, we're at 1.1 million for yoga. So anyway, you see how this works, guys. You play through it a little bit, type in a couple keywords, and you'll see about the size of your market. Again, my sweet spot, I would say low end about 50,000. You know, I would say if I'm going to build a real legitimate business, I want about 80,000 people for me to start focusing on it. If I want like a niche business, 30 to 50,000, I can build a good niche business. If I want a big business, 50,000, 80,000 and above. Okay. All right. So there's one way we're doing our keyword research. It's very fun, easy. Is Jaxi. Now, next one I'll show you is called SpyFu. And SpyFu is kind of cool. You type in a domain or keywords. So let's say I type in neuropathy. So I'm going to type in this because I know this is the market that we're in. So you type that in, type search, type in the keyword. And what it's going to do is it's going to show you what people are spending. And again, these aren't perfect, but it's going to give me an approximation. It says, look, people in neuropathy treatment are paying about $2.35 per click. So it means advertisers are spending money, which is a good sign. Okay, one of the biggest things I want to stress to you guys is, and I promise some of you guys are probably worrying about this right now, is you're saying, hey, there's somebody else already selling this product. I can't do it. Okay, that's the exact opposite of the mentality you want. You want as many competitors as possible. If there's competitors, it means there's a market there. If there's not competitors, it means it's bad. So every time I teach this, people are like, I want to do that, but I saw 3 other people selling ebooks about how to do this thing. And they don't understand, like, no, that's the best thing in the world. I want the more people there, the more potential JV partners there are. There's so much more stuff if there's more people. So don't hide from that. It's a good thing. And so SpyFu allows you to see what people are paying approximately for ads. So people paying $2.35 for ads. That's a good sign that that it's there. If nobody's buying ads at all, you might be like, if nobody's buying ads, maybe it's not the right thing. Okay, I type make money. Okay, make money $1.55 per click. You can see the search volume. Okay, so that's kind of what I use SpyFu for, just to make sure people are spending money on traffic. If they're not, and it doesn't, price points, someone asked about price points. It's hard to know because every market's going to be different. I care less about that as much as I just want to make sure people are spending money, that things are happening. There's advertisers, 68 advertisers for the word make money in the last 3 months. If there's nobody there, that's when you're like, maybe it's not a good thing. Okay, that's more so what I'm looking for. Okay, and then the next thing is I want to go out there and find out. I want to make sure, again, I'm not the only person selling this kind of stuff. Like, who else out there is selling things? And so for that, obviously, you just go out there and start searching for similar products. So the product that we're going to be creating with you guys live, and again, I'll actually start the process next week. We're going to go and build our free plus shipping product and everything with you guys live. But the one we're doing is in a financial market. And so today, before the webinar, I started researching like who are other people selling similar products to what I'm selling. And so I pulled up a couple just to show you some stuff. So one of the people that will be one of my new competitors and hopefully one of my new partners is the Elevation Group. This is a company run by Mike Dillard, one of my friends. And so this is his whole thing. They're teaching the world how to invest like the rich. Okay, the Elevation Group. Another good one is StansberryResearch.com. These guys are big in the investment space. I think they do like 80 or 90 million bucks a year. So it's another good competitor / hopefully potential partner. Make that bigger. Stansberry. This one's Survival Life. This one's not so much a direct competitor, but I do know that people in the survival space, people who are who are into that kind of thing, are also usually interested in the whole like finance and investing in wealth and things like that. So I kind of know that those markets are similar. Another one's Sovereign Man. So I know these because, again, this is a topic that I'm passionate about, and so I'm on these newsletters. I read what these guys say. These are just people that, because it's a market I'm already passionate, I'm already getting these emails, I kind of know who the competitors are. If you're in a market now and you don't know who the competitors are, it's time to start just going to Google and searching for anything on that topic you can. Join everybody's email list, buy their products, do as much as you can so you can start seeing who the players that are out there. Okay, so I got a couple of these. Now, I'm going to use the Elevation Group. And there's this really cool software called whatrunswhere.com. Now the software is is not cheap. But they do have like a 30-day trial or a 3-day trial. I think 3-day trial for like $1. And so just get 3-day trial, spend like all weekend doing it, and then cancel it because it's it's like $300 a month afterwards. But while you have it, it's really, really cool. So this is what runs where looks like. You come right here, and then I take the elevation group, for example. I'm going to copy this, come back to what runs where. I enter the domain name, and I search. And what it does is it's going to go out there. It's going to see if elevation group is advertising through paid media. Okay, and they're not. They have affiliates that are, but they're not. So next I'm going to try Stansberry Research. I'm going to plug them in here. Boom. Okay, so it shows me some stuff. So it shows that Stansberry Research, based on what they have, 100% of their media buy or traffic's coming from media buys. You can come in here and you can see their traffic sources. So they're buying ads on NBCnews.com, Today.com, Photoblog. You can see all the sites that they're buying ads on. Okay, would that be useful for any of you guys to not know exactly what sites your competitors are buying ads on? And you can see when they were first seen on that site and the last seen. So you can see if they're only there for 1 day, or hey, they've been there for 9 months. That's probably a good site for me to buy ads on in the future, right? Okay, so I come here and I go into export. Like I'll download every one of these things during my trial just to get all that data. So when I'm going to be advertising later, I've got all this stuff. Another cool thing is that if the ads are in here, and this one doesn't show it, but it'll show you their ads. It shows you one of their banner ads. It has Clinton's head on here. It shows you placement suggestions, common phrases. Anyway, it gives you a bunch of cool data. So that's Stansberry. I'm going to look at Survival Life. Let's see what they give me here. Alright, so Survival Life is a little different. So 96.9% of the traffic comes from Site Scout. So SiteScout.com is a site you can sign up for, and it's like you buy banner ads on tons of different sites. It's a really cool service, but you look at 96% of their traffic all comes from Site Scout. A small percentage comes from Rubicon Project, I don't even know what that is, and then some from Google AdWords. So it's kind of cool. And then I can see their traffic sources. So here's where outside of the beltway.com. In fact, I think we're buying ads on this site in the near future, or if we haven't already for one of our things. Boom, polyfact.com, beforeitsnews.com. That's a good domain name, beforeitsnews.com. Anyway, check that out. So you can see exactly what sites they're already buying ads on. I'm going to go check out that site right now, Before It News. Oh, so it'll dig deeper. So let's see where Before It News runs their ads on. Boom. And check this out. It'll show you all of their text ads. So you can see exactly what their ads look like here. You can see what their banner ads look like. Isn't that awesome, you guys? Like I literally hire banner ad designers. I just find my competitors' banner ads in here, and I just show it to them. I'm like, hey, just make them look like theirs, but better. That's kind of how I do it. So beforeitsnews.com. I've never been on the site before, but boom, check it out. Now, we'll get into this in the traffic sections, you guys, but if my free plus shipping thing was done, and I knew first off that Survival Life was my competitor, I came in here, I found that they're buying stuff on beforeitsnews.com. I go to beforeitsnews.com, I would join their email list really, really quickly, and I would try to find somewhere to advertise. Like come down the bottom, usually there's a section that says like advertising. Yeah, check it out, advertise with us. And I get a hold of them and find out how I can advertise with them. If I can buy banner ads or send emails or whatever it is. Okay, but we'll get into that. We'll get into the traffic stuff later. But you guys see, like, getting traffic's not that hard when you find out exactly where your competitors are driving traffic from, right? You just go to the same places and buy the same traffic. And it's really fun. It gets even more fun than that. But I just want to kind of give you guys just a glimpse of what you'll be learning over the next 8 weeks. Okay, text ads here, banner ads. Boom, here's all the banner ads for survival stuff. That's a good ad. Some of these are really good. A lot of gun ads. So if I was in the market, I'd be like, man, I want an Obama ad like that. I want an ad with a gun. And you can just kind of look at their ads to model what it is you're going to create. Okay. Again, most of the stuff we do, you guys, is not like recreating the stuff from scratch. It's seeing what's working and then modeling it, right? Check out this banner ad. How to quickly and easily purify any water, even urine, to drink, store, cook, or cook with after disaster. And it's got a picture of a toilet with yellow water in it. That banner ad is awesome. All right. Okay. Sovereign Man, we'll throw him in here too to see if he's buying ads. But you see how like you can have some fun with this in a 3-day weekend with your free trial. Just come in here and just search off every competitor in every market you can dream of. Like I literally have so much fun in here. So boom, there's banner ads. I can see traffic sources. brotherofjohnf.com. That's where all their traffic looks like it's coming from. Let's see what they've got. Silver for the people. Boom, here's another good site for me to start buying banner ads on. Anyway, okay, so I'm trying to put in you guys' mind just some understanding of how much fun this research process can be and all the cool things you can find while you're going about it. Okay, you find out exactly what their banner ads look like, what their real ads are saying. We can find out, what sites they're advertising on. Like so much cool stuff you can start finding really, really quickly. If you look at like, for us, let's see. For our supplement, this is our competitor, so we just typed in their domain name. And literally in, what was that, 6 seconds, 7 seconds, I found out exactly what they're advertising on. We found out every single ad, the text of and headline of every single ad they've been running for the last like 5 years. So all the hard work they've been doing, we can just find out exactly what's best. I can see all their banner ads. I can see like everything they've done. We're able to replicate it in a matter of seconds. And now go back in there and start competing with them. Okay, kind of cool, don't you guys think? All right, so yeah. Let me jump back in. So that's some of the stuff, how we find out how big a market is, who the competitors are, if they're spending money on advertising, and those type of things. Okay, and so that's kind of where we start off with in this path. Okay, so again, that's question number one: is there a large enough market for information relating to this area? Okay, and that's how we do it. Find how big the market is, and see if there's other people already selling it. Those are my two core ways to find out if it's large enough. Is that find out how big it is, and find out who's currently selling stuff to that market. All right. All right, now question number two is probably even more important. Are members of this market able and willing to pay for information related to this area? Now notice there's two keywords in there, able and willing. Okay, a lot of times people are able to spend. Like for example, my grandma, she's got a lot of money right now. She's been hoarding her money for an entire lifetime. She was born during like the Depression era. She's got a ton of money, right? She's able to buy stuff, but guess what? She is not willing to depart with a single penny, okay? She's able, but she's not willing. Other times, there are young kids, like my kids right now. I got twins, and they are addicted to Mario. And we were at the Target last night, and we're walking by, and every single place we walked by was, there was just like tons of stuff, right? And they were willing to spend my money on it. They just weren't able to do it, okay? And every market you go into, a lot of times people are going to be able but not willing, and they're going to be willing but not able. Okay, so you got to understand, are they able and willing? So this is kind of how you find that out. Okay, first off, you got to find out, does the typical member of your target market have a credit card? Okay, if they don't have a credit card, not worth going after them online. Okay, that's why I had a friend a little while ago. It's probably 5 or 6 years ago. Back when, maybe it was like 8 years ago, back when like Halo was the big game that came out, and he was like, this is going to be the biggest phenomenon in the world, we're going to make millions of dollars, and he sold people on this vision. He made over $1 million telling people about the Halo market that was about to explode and get in hot and all this stuff, and sure enough, the market came, it exploded, and they spent 3 years trying to sell something to that market, and turned out they found out that the average Halo person did not have a credit card. Their parents did, and they begged their parents to get the game, and as soon as they had the game, they were just playing the game. That was all that mattered. Okay? Their typical market did not have a credit card. If they don't have a credit card, you can't go after them, right? Number two, does the typical member of your target market have disposable income? We talked about this earlier. They've got to have enough money to be able to go and spend on it. Okay? A good example is, I know some friends who pick the market debt reduction. Like, hey, we want to get in the debt reduction service. Everyone here, it's a lot of pain in that market, which is a good thing. But the problem is that by the nature of who they are, their credit cards are already maxed out. They don't have disposable income. That's why they're coming to you, because they're out of money and they want more money on their credit card. They may say they want to get out of debt, but all they really want is more room on their credit card to spend money on stuff. And so they don't have the disposable income. Okay, it's a really hard thing. One of the markets we're in is the couponing niche. And the biggest problem we have with the couponing niche is that most of the people who were hyper passionate about couponing, they just don't have disposable income. We cannot, it's very difficult for them to get them to spend money on anything. The one thing we found, the only way we found to get them to make money is, one, is by printing coupons. We get paid for every coupon they print. And number two is putting them through an invisible funnel. That's the only two things we've ever found to be able to monetize this audience. And luckily you guys are all learning the invisible funnel stuff. So that'll help even if your market doesn't quite have as much disposable income. But your job will be so much easier if the market you go after has disposable income. Okay, number three is, can you find a direct competitor? We talked about this. You do want competitors. And number D here is, can you find 4 other products that are being sold to your target market? Now this is different than what I said before. Before I said, find 3 or 4 products that that are similar to what you want to sell. So you're selling a financial newsletter, find other financial newsletters. This question is different. This is, what other products are being sold to those people? Okay, so someone buys a financial newsletter. What else are they buying? Are there 4 other people selling stuff to those people? Okay, a good example for us is that survival niche. The survival lists, like, they're selling people survival stuff, but we've successfully sold our diabetic product to the survival lists. I've seen people sell how to make money to the survival list. I've seen people sell all sorts of stuff to survival lists. Okay, so I'm looking for other types of products that are being sold to that target market. Okay, and that's important, and you'll understand that more as we start getting to the traffic sections here, because eventually I'm going to tap out of every single survival list. So now I want to go reverse engineer it and say, okay, the survival list, what other things are they buying? Oh, they're buying financial newsletters. Let's market the financial newsletters. You start kind of growing it that direction. All right. So those are some of the questions. Oh yeah, and then the last one here is, how much money are advertisers currently paying to advertise in this area? And that's what I kind of showed you guys with SpyFu, where you can go through and find out exactly how much money people are spending. All right. So actually, let me come back here. So in the PDF I gave you guys, there's this little sheet right here, and actually let me show it to you real quick. What I recommend doing is printing out, print out this PDF, especially this thing right here on page number 4. I'd print this thing out right here and use this as you're going through your market. You're going through and trying to find your market. Okay, you're picking a market. Question number 1, is there a large target market? Boom, go to Jaxi, type in a search term. How many searches? Okay, based on this, is this a good market? Yes. Okay, number 2, are they willing and able to spend money? Okay, boom, they have a credit card? Yes. No, yes, no. My competitors? Boom, 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 boom. How much are they paying for? Boom, and then you can really quickly, by going through this chart, find out if your market's going to be good or not. Okay, and again, guys, I can't stress enough how important it is to go through this process. It's kind of a pain at first, but I just do not want you guys spending the next 8 weeks focusing on the wrong market, because then you'll come back to me like, oh, Russell, your thing didn't work. I was like, my thing works. It works. You just got to pick the right market, and it's going to work in it. Okay, all right. So that's number 1, is finding a hot market. Okay. Someone asked, how do you know if they have a credit card or income? Part of it's just is common sense. Like, look at that person. Like, does that type of person only buying stuff? And number 2 is seeing, are people selling stuff to that market? If there's a whole bunch of people selling things, like the weight loss market, we know there's money there because there's like a bajillion people selling stuff to the weight loss market. Okay, survivor market, we know they have disposable income, they have a credit card because people are selling stuff to it. So a lot of times it's just kind of reverse engineering and looking at it and saying, oh yeah, those guys got money. Everyone's selling stuff to them. Okay, you go to Cub Scouts, Cub Scout leaders. How many people are selling to Cub Scout leaders? There's no one, because there's no, they have, I mean, sure that they've got credit card income, but the other questions aren't in there. They're not irrationally passionate. They're not doing all those things. They're not the kind of people that are spending money on it. So a lot of it's just kind of looking, and there's always still kind of a guess in there. But I think by kind of going through that process I just took you guys through, you should get a pretty good idea and have a pretty clear market or idea if the market's going to be good or not. All right, so now that you found the hot market, the next question is not to go out and create a product to sell them. That's the worst thing possible. That's what most of you guys are doing right now. You have no idea what your market actually wants. And I'm going to show you guys how luckily I went through this process, and it saved me a ton of time and effort and made me a lot of money. The second step in this process is, after you found the hot market, is you got to ask them what they want. Okay. Again, most of the times, I would look back on almost every product that we've sold that has been a failure. It's always because I thought I knew what people wanted, and I went and created it and tried to sell it, and then nobody ever wanted it. Okay. When I asked them ahead of time, and they're like, oh, I want this and want this and want this, and we create it, boom, money just starts flowing in. And so it's very important. So how do you ask them what you want? Okay, the first thing you do is you create a little tiny page called the Flycatcher page. This is what it looks like. And I created some software that I just gave to you guys for free. We can create these pages as many as you want, as often as you want. You just go to members.flycatchergenerator.com, click on create a new account, boom, create an account, and you guys have access to the software. It makes these little pages for you. So I'm going to read this to you. It says, dear friend, I know that your time is valuable, so I'll get right to the point. I need your advice. And by the way, people love to give you their advice. If you don't know that, go on Facebook for like 30 seconds. Okay, people love to give you their advice. So it says, I need your advice. I'm putting the finishing touches on a new ebook called How to Overcome Pornography, and I want to make sure that I don't leave anything out. So will you let me know your biggest question about how to overcome a pornography addiction? It could be anything, even if you think it's silly. All you have to do is type in your question in the box below and click submit, and then in exchange for your advice, if you leave your email address, I'll send you a free copy of the ebook before we release it to the market. It should be ready in a few weeks. Okay, so here's the easy form. What is your biggest question about how to overcome pornography? And there's a little form. They click submit. So thank you very much for making this the best How to Overcome Pornography resource possible. Sincerely, Dr. Joseph Michaels. Okay, so this was a flycatcher page that I set up when before we launched our pornography addiction product. I got like this for our potato gun product. For most of our products, we create something just like this. And I use these words word for word. I don't deviate from it at all. In fact, when you guys go to members.flycatchergenerator.com and you create your account, it'll ask you like what your product name is, and it pops out this page and just plugs into your product name right here. So I'm working on the finishing touches on a new book called Forex Empire, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And it just plugs in your product name right there. What's your biggest question about Forex or whatever? You know, it just, you edit like 2 or 3 words and then it pops out this page just exactly as is. Okay. All right. Yeah, so this is, I got a lot of questions coming in, but this is the first step. We create a simple page like this. Okay. Now, you notice I'm not asking like a huge survey, and you can ask a survey, but what I found is like when you get a survey, you get so much data back. A lot of times it's just, it's too hard to turn that into any kind of actionable thing. What I want is what's their biggest question, their number one question, because what will happen, and I'll show you guys this here in a second, you'll start getting in 50, 100, 200, 500 different things. And from that, you'll find out really, really quickly what people's biggest concerns are, and that's all you have to address in your product. If you ask bigger surveys, it just seems like it, I don't know, it's just not as powerful, I don't think. I think when people are thinking about what's their biggest question, you get what really is their major pain point. Okay? All right. So some of you guys are asking, who do you send it to if you don't have a list? So I'm going to get to that here in a second. Actually, yeah, I'll get there in 1 second. So you create the page first. It's called a flycatcher page. Then you run an ask campaign. And I spell it ASK. First of the year I was teaching this, people kept thinking I was swearing, and they're like, why did you call it that? But no, it's an ask campaign. I'm asking you something. I think Alex Mendosian made that term. So an ask campaign is basically you take the flycatcher page, you drive traffic, and you're asking them what their number one question is. And so this is when we ran our pornography addiction one back in 2005. Here's some of the questions that came back, and I'm going to read some of these because I think they're really interesting. And the reason why is before, when we were creating this product, we were developing this product directly to help men overcome their pornography addiction. And after we ran the survey, what we found was very interesting. We found that almost the majority of the people responding to our survey weren't men. They were women and spouses and mothers who were concerned about their husband or their children. Okay, so the first one here, this one was from a man. Will pornography ruin my relationship with my wife? Number 2 is, how can marriage survive when pornography addiction keeps popping up, affecting trust in a 43-year marriage, even though we don't want to get a divorce? Number 3 here, how can a spouse deal with this addiction that keeps popping up in a relationship when divorce isn't the answer? Then here's another one. How do you begin using the internet in a responsible way when trying to drop the addiction, or should you avoid internet usage for a while? Anyway, you just kind of going through here. And what was interesting is we found out that the majority of our audience, like I said, they were women who were finding answers for their kids. Now, how do you think we created our product differently knowing that? Okay, we created it way differently. We realized that it wasn't, a lot of times it's not the person with the addiction trying to solve this problem. It's the loved one of the person with the addiction. So when you know that, the way you create the product, the way you write the sales letter, everything else you're doing changes. Okay. Now, every time we run these, I'm always fascinated what we learn because it's always different than what I assumed. It's really weird. And whenever I assume, like I said, sometimes I get it right. A lot of times we don't get it right. Okay, so that's what an ask campaign is. All right, so how do you get people to fill out? There's a lot of ways. If you have a list, easiest way is you send an email out to your list. Boom, that's the easiest way. If you don't have a list, which I know a lot of you guys don't have a list yet, then, for example, when I launched my potato gun product, this was also back in 2005, I did not have a list. So I went to a potato gun forum. I think it was spudtech.com, I believe. It's spudtech.com, or there's a couple potato gun forums that I frequent. And anyway, I just went to the forum because there's already like 5,000 people talking about potato guns in there. And I just posted, if you look at here, post. It said, "Hey guys, I thought it'd be a fun project to put together a manual showing how I make my potato guns, and I want to make sure it's really good. So I'm putting together a survey to make sure I answer any questions that normal people have about potato guns. So I got a question and a favor and a gift. Number one, what's your number one question about potato guns? Number two, would you post this question at howtomakepotatogun.com? And number three, if you post a question, I'll give you a free copy of the manual." Sounds good? Thanks guys, Russell. So I just posted that in the potato gun forum, and check out over here. Boom, look at all these potato gun questions people asked me. Okay, what are the different kind of igniters you can use with potato gun? The price of a basic potato gun. I burned my hand, that's the problem. Sir, that's not a question. Some questions you get will just be dumb. Some you'll get will definitely be inappropriate. But anyway, tons of what can I use as fuel because I won't cause my potato gun to explode? Is it safe within the city limits? What's the easiest and the cheapest way to make potato gun? The best air fuel mixture. Anyway, see all these, like all this cool stuff I learned. Are they illegal to own? How fast can a potato shoot? Where do I get the seeds? I don't even know how to answer that one. Could you design a larger potato gun to be altered to make it water cannon? What's the best fuse to use? How to mix the gas and something. Anyway, these are all the questions I got back. And boom, I get these questions. Now I know exactly what to do when I'm creating my product, okay? Okay, so, but come back to how do we drive traffic? So a forum is a good place. Now, when I did this one, there wasn't potato gun. There wasn't Facebook. Nowadays, I would use Facebook as my primary tool to get people to fill out a survey. So what I would do, I would go to the good old book of faces, and I'd come over here and I would search for something. Let's say I'm doing potato guns. I type in potato gun. Check out, there's a potato gun group. It's got 671 likes. Community. I'm mostly wanting groups. I think there's a way to search for groups specifically. Groups of potato guns. Okay. Here's a gun group. It's got 124,000. Let me find another one. This looks like yoga groups. Boom. Here's a yoga group. So I'm gonna go to this yoga group. That's the yoga fan page. I want more of a group. I think there's a way to search for. When in doubt, ask Google. Search Facebook groups. There you are. It's facebook.com/ yeah. Okay. Create a group. I should have this link for you guys. I apologize. Anyway, I'm just gonna go back to Facebook. You guys can get a gist, right? You find a group. So like I'm gonna go let me find some groups I'm in. So I'm in a whole bunch of groups like the Internet Marketing Super Friends group. So here's the group I'm in. Now, if I was filling out an ask campaign for this, I would just go in here and be like, I see there's 6,600 members here. They're all internet marketing dudes. I'd be like, hey guys, I'm creating a product about the best way to drive traffic using SEO in 2014. I would love for you guys to let me know your biggest question about it so I can answer my product. If you can take 2 seconds, fill out a survey over here. It's one question survey. I'll give you a free copy of the product. Boom, I click submit, and literally within seconds, people will start filling out my fly capture page. Boom, boom, boom. People start coming in quick. Does that make sense? So here's a copyright. Here's a group I'm in called the Cult of Copy. It's like a copywriting group. There's 5,100 members. If I was creating a copywriting product, hey guys, creating a really cool product on copywriting. Just curious, your number one question about copywriting, let me know and I'll give you a free copy of the course. Boom. Okay, and it's not like spamming because you're not selling them anything. You're giving them a free copy if they just tell you your number one question. And literally within minutes, you guys will start getting just tons and tons and tons of data coming back in. So that's what I recommend for most of you guys. Someone said a lot of these posts, these groups get buried within spam. Yeah, there's a ton of spam groups out there. Find good groups. Okay, the groups that I'm involved with are groups that, like the Cult of Copy, this guy takes care of his group. He kicks out people. If they're spamming, you get shut out. Okay, Internet Marketing Super Friends, same thing. So yeah, there's a lot of groups that are just full of spam, but there's good legitimate groups, a lot of them, that have just amazing people online, and you can just go and find those groups, and that's where you're going in. Okay, so again, you're not spamming, you're not trying to find groups, you're just getting mass spammed. You're just going to go in there and kind of do the good thing. Okay, all right. Someone asked, how do you give them a free copy? So if you notice back here, it says, I'll send you a free copy of the ebook before releasing it to the market. if you leave your email address. So they just have them write in their question, their email address here, and then I just manually email it. So I don't run this for like forever. I usually run this, I try to get between 50 and 100 responses back, and then I take that as my market research. Like now I kind of know what these guys really are thinking, what they want. Okay? And that's kind of how I do it. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully that helps you guys see how we fill these things out, how we get people to fill them out. Like I said, it's pretty simple and pretty easy. So the software I gave you guys is really simple. It's again, Flycatcher Generator. You click on Members Login, and it'll ask you to create an account. You should pick a username, email address, blah blah. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna let me log in because I think I already have an account, but I should also make up a new one. Anyway, you guys will log. Well, yeah. Just if I can get it real quick more time. If I can't, then I'll let you guys play with it. There we are. So you log in. The software's kind of ghetto. Like it's something we created really quick for some of our members, but it does what it needs to do. Like it's really simple. So you click on Add New Survey. Boom. Title of the survey. So I'm gonna call it Russell's Cool Survey. My first name Russell Brunson. This is gonna show up. If you look where it shows up, the name you put here is going to show up down here. Okay. Oh, first name, boom, last name, Brunson, product name, let's do .com secrets, biggest question. So this you're just finishing the sentence. What's the biggest question about how to make moolah online? Question mark. Name a submit button. Give me your answer, please. And URL, you can send this back to your website or whatever you want to do. .secrets.com. So I create that. So it took like a minute to create that. Then here's Russell's Cool Survey. If I get the link for that, take this link. Then I come over here. And there's a link I give someone. It says, dear friend, I know your time is valuable. I'm putting the finishing touches on my new product called .com Secrets. I want to make sure I don't leave anything out. Exchange for your email address. I'll give you a new product. Oh yeah, these new forms ask for the email, so you'll have that stored in the database. And then what's your number one question about how to make moolah online? Sincerely, Russell Brunson. They fill this out. Yo, my big question is why. Rusty. And fill that out. They submit it. Boom, redirects to my website. And then what's cool is you can come back in here, and I'm going to refresh this page now, and I should be able to see, oh, check it out, one person filled out the survey. So I can click on that. It'll show me the name, what their question was, and then you click on here, check out keywords. It'll actually show you like what keywords people use. So if you get 100 surveys, you'll find out that like there's a bunch of keywords people use all the time, and this comes back to like that jargon. Like suddenly people are calling, let's say it was a CrossFit thing and they're calling it WOD. Now I know like, oh, everyone's calling it WOD. That's a word I should know, and kind of let you know what keywords people are using. So anyway, like I said, very simple software. It does one function, which is just get people to fill out that form, and that's all it does, and that's all you need it to do. Okay, it's very simple and very easy. Okay, so that's what you guys can get that for free. Members.flycatchergenerator.com. All right, so there's that. Okay, now so again, first step. If you guys remember again, we find a hot market. Second step, we ask them what they want, and now we got to go figure out how to give it to them. And that's kind of what we're going to be covering over the next 7 weeks now is how to create the product and service to give it to them. But the big takeaway I want you guys getting for tonight, and I talked about this during the 4-hour initial webinar, so hopefully you guys heard me talk about this. But the biggest thing is now we get all this information, all this data back. We've got to create a system to help them to solve their problem. Okay, that's how this whole thing works. And so what we do is we take back these 50 or 100 or 200 questions we get back from the survey, and what you'll find is there's going to be a lot of similarities. Okay, when I did my potato gun ones, they all kind of fell into types of guns, types of propellants, the pipes, accessories. So it kind of broke into like 7 or so, and you see here 7 different categories. And what I did is I took that and I turned those categories into chapters or modules. Okay, if you're writing a book, you're gonna call them chapters. If it's a course, you're gonna call it modules. If it's whatever it is. And so I broke it down. So I said, number one were a lot of the questions about what type of gun I wanted to create. So I said, chapter 1, what type of gun? Chapter 2, how to pick the right pipes. Chapter 3, how to find other accessories you need before you start building. Chapter 4, how to cut the right barrel to chamber volume ratio. Chapter 5, how to pull all the pieces together. Chapter 6, how to increase the distance to your potatoes. Chapter 7, how to stay safe while shooting your gun. Okay, so all my questions broken down into those 7 categories. And then I started just putting in all of the questions underneath there. So some of the questions were like, what's a pneumatic gun? What size gun should we build? How do you build a bolt action spud gun? So I started taking all these questions about gun types, and I put them here in my outline, right? In chapter 2, how to pick the right pipes. What types of pipes to use? What's the PSI rating on pipe, or do the PSI ratings on the pipes matter? All this stuff about potato guns, you guys didn't even know, huh? I didn't know this stuff was important either until I asked. And then I went out and found out. I found out what PSI ratings I needed. I found out what a pneumatic gun was. I found out all this cool stuff, and really quickly I became an expert just by answering the questions that people asked me. Okay? Again, chapter 3, what kind of igniters? Barbecue or lantern lighters? What's the best? Number 4, how long should I cut my pipes? What happens if my chamber's too big or too small? And so I go and I create this entire system, almost like I'm writing a book, like my outline of a book. Can I go and put all their questions in here? And then I start defining it, like what are the things do I want to teach? And I might add a bullet point like I like to teach this about this and this, and you start like kind of building out this outline of what your system is. Okay, all of you guys need to have a system. This is my system for doing what? For helping somebody achieve what result? Helping them shoot a potato, helping them read faster, helping them pick up a girl on a date, helping them to learn internet marketing, helping them make money, helping them to trade Forex, helping them to increase their business, helping them to lose weight, helping them to eat more healthy. Like whatever all you guys have something, right? We've got to create a system for that. If you don't have a system for it, it becomes really, really hard. But if we defined a system, you guys, all the stuff I'm going to be showing you over the next 7 weeks becomes very, very simple and very easy. Okay, the invisible funnel is you teaching the system in a very cool manner. The free plus shipping thing is you picking out the very best part of this system, and that becomes your free plus shipping thing. Okay, but until you've got a system, and a lot of you guys know your stuff. You've got stuff you've been teaching forever, but you don't have a system yet. You've got to have a system you can take people through, and this is the best way I know of creating an actual system. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay. Good. Cool. So this is how we create our system. Okay. And again, it's not hard. People are doing all the work for you. And some of these things you're not going to know the answer to. I had no idea what PSI even meant. I had to go Google PSI, and I found out it means the pressure per something, and it's like it's how much pressure can a pipe take. Because you get the wrong PSI, the pipe's going to explode in your hand. Okay. Same thing with a pneumatic gun. I didn't know what a pneumatic gun was. I didn't even heard that word before. But I went and searched it and found it out. And very quickly, people help you become the expert. They give you exactly what you need to know. And a lot of times, again, you will know stuff, but a lot of times you're going to find stuff you don't know, and you're going to find out the right way to categorize it, and you're going to have a chance to build out your system. Okay? Yeah, pounds per square inch. Thank you. I didn't know that. I just kind of blanked out right when I was saying it. So yeah. All right. Okay. So for all you guys, we need to create this system outline. I'm going to call it system outline, but the best way to think about this is think about a table of contents. Okay. Now, if you're in a market and you're not quite the expert yet, or you're uncomfortable, you don't know it yet, what I recommend doing is go to Barnes & Noble, go to the book section, or I guess the books, it is a book section, right? Go to Barnes & Noble and look for the dummies guides and see if your book, if there's a dummies guide about your topic. Because if so, your life's going to be so easy, because dummy guides, like one of the best things that they're good at doing is creating an amazing table of contents. You could buy the book, rip out the table of contents, throw the rest of the book away, and boom, you've got your system outline. Because they do a lot of research before they build out their dummy guides. They make sure they're very inclusive. They survey people. They find out exactly what people need to know. So dummy guide is a great way. If there's no dummy guide, that's fine. Go and find 2 or 3 how-to books and look at their table of contents. Okay, it's going to give you guys some really good ideas about what are the core topics or issues or pain points that people have. And then you can start going out there and researching and asking questions and find those things to really start building out whatever your system is. Okay. But I really believe, you guys, for this thing to work and you to make the most amount of money from it possible, you got to have a system, because everything we're doing ties back into that system. All right. Okay, so there's your system. Now the other cool thing is when you run this Ask campaign, the other cool thing you're going to get, and this will be coming for the future, but you're actually able to turn their questions into your copy. Okay, so for example, let's say I get a question that says, what type of pipe should you use? Does a PSI rating on pipe matter? Okay, so when I write my sales video or my sales letter, whatever it is, I take that question somebody asked me and I just rephrase it. So I say, hey, in my product, you're going to discover the only pipe we will ever use and the secret PSI rating that will guarantee that your potatoes go further and your gun will last longer. Okay? We knew that like 10% of our questions, 10% of the people ask this question or some variation of it. So if I just go back and I have a bullet point that answers that specifically, I know 10% of my people now are going to be like, oh, sweet, this product answers my question. Okay, number 2, what type of igniter should I use? Barbecue lighter or barbecue lighters or lantern? I turn that into a bullet point. Find out exactly which igniter we'll never use, as well as a scary near-death experience that kept us from ever using it again, and why there's only one brand that we trust. Okay, if you're about to go make a potato gun and you're researching to find out what kind of barbecue igniter you're going to use, and all of a sudden you see this bullet point, wouldn't you be like, huh, I should definitely buy this product before I make my potato gun because I don't want it to blow up in my hand. Okay? Okay, number 3 here. How long should I cut my pipes? Well, you're going to learn the correct barrel to chamber percentage, and that'll keep you safe and help your gun shoot 25% further. Warning, even 1/4 of an inch off could make every potato you shoot flop. Okay? All right. Number 5 here. What type of propellant should I use? Discover the secret repellent we accidentally stumbled upon when we ran out of hairspray that immediately made our gun shoot 50 yards further every time. And what am I going to die if I make the gun wrong? Learn the safety secrets we use to make every single gun outing safe as well as exciting. Okay, so in the future, you guys, again, we're not going to use these yet till probably week 3 or 4, but these questions that come in, we are going to be using these for your bullet points. If you don't have these, your copy will not be as strong. If you do have them, I promise you it's going to be so much easier to sell what it is you got to sell. So that's why you've got to do these ask campaigns. Okay, someone asked a good question I want to come back to. They said, so based on this, Russell, are we creating an ebook for our product? The answer is probably not. Ebooks are the longest, hardest, most difficult way to create a product. I've been doing this now for over 10 years, and I still haven't created my first ebook because they're hard. But even though I don't write an ebook, I create a lot of video courses, audio courses, training courses like this. For example, you guys, when I created this curriculum for you, guess what I did? In fact, I sent you guys my outline. I created an entire outline like this. Based on questions I'd received from you guys, based on a lot of feedback. I didn't run a specific ask campaign, but I will probably about specific topics. But over the last few years, obviously, I've taught this stuff a lot, and so I created my table of contents. So my table of contents for this training specifically, in fact, I think I have it here. I'll pull it up for you guys right now. This was kind of the sales letter I created for this course, and in there, check this out. You notice what I did here? I created my system outline. This is my system outline for the black box training. Week number 1, we're going to find a hot market, ask them what they want, and give it to them. Week number 2, we're going to create your buyer magnet. Week number 3, we're going to create your invisible funnel. Week number 4, we're going to get your funnel set up with no tech people. Week number 5, we're going to talk about your black box. Number 6, your soap opera and your Seinfeld. Number 7, your affiliate solo ads and systems. Number 8, your Facebook buyer leads. So this is my outline, my system outline I created for this training course. Now you notice I'm not writing a book. Okay, I could have called these chapter 1, but because it's like a learning program, I call it week 1. When this becomes more of a like an audio or a membership site where I've got these videos archived, I'll change it from week 1 to module 1. Okay, so you can call it chapters, modules, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. And if you're someone who loves to write, then you can write a book. But I'm not going to have you guys write a book during this program because it takes too long, and I need you guys making money quick. Okay, so what I'm going to recommend is taking whichever one of these things is the most sexy and the most exciting, the most unique. That's going to become your free plus shipping thing. We're going to sit down and we're going to record a CD teaching about the barrel chamber to volume ratio, right? Because this is the most unique, interesting part. So I'm going to do my free CD is going to be like, hey, who wants to know my barrel to chamber volume ratio? I recorded 1 hour CD going over the ins and outs of exactly what you need to know, blah, 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 blah. You get it for free, just cover shipping and handling. And I'm going to mail out a CD that teaches this. And then my invisible funnel, I'm going to go through and over my 3 or 4 hour webinar, I'm going to teach all these things in the system, right? And then when I sell some of my high ticket thing, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to work one-on-one with them to go through and implement all this stuff. Okay, so if you come back to, let me open up Paintbrush, because that's how we do it here in Russell Brunson Training Land. So if you look at the funnel we're building with you guys, right, it all starts out, the first page here, we're going to be giving away something free plus shipping, probably a free CD. So this free CD is going to have like your #1 secret, or your best tip, or and we'll cover this actually next week, or this will be an overview of what your system is. Okay, that's gonna be this free thing, an overview of. In fact, one thing we've had a lot of success with our free plus shipping is an overview of like, I'm gonna go through this system, boom, in an hour. So you cover the what, and then after they buy that, then you drop them on the page where you sell them. Remember, we talked about we have the case study video here. So we've got a case study, and then you're signing them up for an invisible funnel webinar where it's $0 up front, and afterwards you build them something, $47.97, whatever it is. And then here on this actual 4-hour webinar is where you're teaching them the how. So here's what the system is, how. We're going to break this down for the next 4 hours and walk you through how to do it. At the end of this, you sell them into your high ticket thing, high ticket, which is usually some way to actually implement, help them implement this system they learned about here. So implement, E-M-E-N-T. Okay. So again, we'll be covering this in a lot of detail. And if you haven't had a chance to watch the intro 4-hour webinar, please go watch that because we lay out this whole concept in a lot of detail. But this is what your system is. So when you get this whole system, we're breaking it apart to teach it here. Okay, so right here in my 4-hour webinar, I'm teaching Module 1, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, whatever it is. I'm teaching that over my Invisible Funnel webinar. I'm taking out my best part, bring it out here, or I'm giving them more of a what overview of it. And then back here, I'm helping them implement that for the high ticket thing. Does that make sense? Yeah, because I don't want any of you guys writing ebooks. Because it's a nightmare, I promise you that. All right, and again, this is the future copy stuff. So this is the only we're at now, but I promise you guys, this will make your life so much easier. Think about back here when you got this, the video, whatever, to sell this free CD, and you're able to pull out these things and be like, hey, on the CD, you're gonna discover the only pipe we will ever use, and the secret PSI rating that'll guarantee your potato shoot farther, and you're gonna last longer. Again, everyone who had that question is gonna be like, sweet, I need that CD. Okay, and so we share those bullet points here. Same thing here with the case study. We can share bullet points of what people have asked, and it just makes people want to buy it because they know that the exact question they have, you're gonna answer. Okay, I promise you guys, it's so much easier for me to sell you something when I know exactly what you want than when I kind of think I know what you want. Okay, all right. Steve asks, is this gonna be a CD or a DVD? The answer is yes, whatever you want it to be. We've done both, and so it just depends. Some of you guys have faces for radio, so you want to do CDs, right? And some of you guys want to do DVDs. It doesn't matter. It's just the fact we got to ship them out something cool. Cool. Joe asked, can I do this with like an external product that's not my own? The answer is yes. I'm not going to go into that right now during this training. We talked about that towards the last hour of the 4-hour webinar. I showed you how to plug this model into an affiliate business, to a network marketing business, to an info business, to a coaching business, to a physical product business. So if you watch that, it'll show you exactly how to plug in this system for whatever it is you're selling. Good question. Okay, let me see. Oops. Let me see where else we are here. So I think we're close to done, you guys. I think we've got homework. Awesome. So I would not be a good coach if I did not make you guys do something at the end of this. Otherwise, you'd think, oh, there's some good ideas, and you never do anything. So you do have homework for tonight. This is your homework. First thing, and again, this is homework for over the next week. If you have questions specifically about this is when you guys can submit the questions to me or get on the Friday call-in hours. But it should be specific to this. Don't go ahead and ask questions about stuff that's going to be happening like 6 months in the future, because we'll probably be covering a lot of that on next week's call, next week's webinar, you know. So make sure you're just asking things specific to this, because I don't want to spend 2 hours on the phone explaining something I'm going to be explaining to everybody, 2 days later. So make sure you're using your call-in hours for what's specific to this trading. Okay. So again, the first thing is you got to go and do your market research and decide what niche you're going to be in. Some of you guys already know what that's going to be. Some of you guys are not sure yet. You got to go find out what's that going to be. And if you're stuck, let us know. We can look at that and be like, probably not so good, or maybe you need to tweak it a little bit, or you need to change it. I had someone the other day on our Decade in a Day call, and they were targeting personal trainers, which is a good niche, but I thought it was kind of a small one. I think that it was too small for what he was trying to do. So we talked about, what might be smarter is taking one step back to a bigger market, which is, you're not like business owners as a whole, because that market's so big, but one step back from personal trainers to more like fitness type things. So maybe including yoga instructors and spas and salons, whatever that is, but just one step back so the market opens up a little bit bigger. So if you have questions like that, we can look at that and kind of give you some suggestion and feedback on there. But make sure you pick the market you're going to be in. Next thing is find at least 3 competitors selling something similar to what you have. If you can't find 3 competitors, it's not a good market. Okay, I want to go through all the other market research stuff, but I want to make sure you find 3 competitors. And one of the big reasons, actually 2 big reasons. One of them is when you're building this whole thing out, if you're directly competing with your competitors, it makes a lot of resistance in your business, because now you're going back and you're competing directly with them. But if you look at a marketplace as like an ecosystem, I always look at like, here's this big ecosystem. Okay, there's a whole bunch of people teaching weight loss, or teaching Forex, or they're teaching financial, or they're teaching weight loss, whatever it is, and everyone's got kind of their little niche in this ecosystem, right? And if you come into this ecosystem and you try to sell the exact same thing that everybody else is selling, now you're meeting with a lot of resistance and you're competing with them. But if you come to this ecosystem, you're like, hey, this guy, let's say it's the weight loss space, and this guy's talking about 6-packs, and this guy's talking about low-carb diets, and this guy's talking about this, and you find your own little niche in the ecosystem that's different from everybody else, suddenly all of your competitors can become your partners. Okay, so that's a big key here. And so you got to find, that's one thing, you got to find out what other people are selling so you can find out how to complement what they're selling and not compete with what they're selling. Okay, the second reason why we want to find 3 good competitors is because most of your competitors, you can sell their products and make a ton of money off them. Okay, one of the big reasons why we looked at the Elevation Group is because I know last year we already promoting Elevation Group made like over $50,000 as an affiliate, and I don't even have a list that's teaching financial stuff. Now, I know the new business we're going to be building, we'll have a list related to that. So man, I want to sell Elevation Group. There's a ton of money for me to be made there. Stansberry & Associates, okay? They have great converting products, and if I can promote them as an affiliate, more money to me. Does that make sense, you guys? So you want competitors not, first off to find out where in the ecosystem you're going to be, but second off, you're probably going to want to sell a bunch of their products. And so you want to make sure there's good products you can actually sell out there. Okay, so find 3 competitors. Number 3, set up your Flycatcher page. Again, it's very simple, very easy to go set up. Number 4, I want you to run an Ask campaign on Facebook. So go to Facebook, find a group, go to that group and just ask them, hey, I'll give you a free copy of my product if you tell me your number 1 question. Have them go fill out your little survey. And then go from that survey results you get back, go and create your actual system outline. Okay, and that's it, you guys. It shouldn't be too difficult. It might take you a couple hours to kind of think about the market research and find the right market. Some of you guys already know that. The competitors shouldn't be that hard. Just go to Google and type in what you would type if you were trying to find your product, and see who else has got products there and ads there and what else they're selling. And then set up your Flycatcher page. Takes maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Going to Facebook, finding a group, joining the group, and then asking them to get some feedback. It doesn't take too much time. And then we get those answers in, go and create your system outline. So definitely stuff you can do in the next 7 days, for sure before our next training, and should be able to get done a lot faster than that. So that is the game plan for right now. If you guys have any questions, again, like I said, the members area for those who are watching this live is going to be set up in the next couple of days. You'll have a chance to go in there and be able to submit questions to me directly. If you have questions ahead of time, I think most of you guys have my personal email address, so feel free to personally email me. And then Friday we'll have our open office call-in hours, and we'll send you info and all that stuff for that as well. But on that, I appreciate you guys. The last thing, kind of, not word of warning, but word of wisdom I want to give you guys is make sure that you are the type of person who doesn't say, I'm going to go through the training first and then I'll come back and I'll implement it. I've been doing this now for, over a decade. I've been teaching, I've been training people on internet marketing. And what I found is that the people who go like, oh, this is cool, and they get excited and they learn it and they wait till the end of it and then they're not going to go implement it, they're never successful. They get to the end and then they're like, oh, what's the thing I learned back in week 1? They have to go back and kind of figure it out, and they never actually get there. But the people who go and they go through step 1 and they go and implement it immediately, even if it doesn't make sense to them, they're like, why am I doing this? It's kind of like Mr. Miyagi, right? He had Danielson out there. He's like, hey, go wax the fence, go paint the car. And after like 2 weeks of this, Daniel gets all angry, goes back to Mr. Miyagi. He's like, dude, I wanted to learn karate. Why are you making me paint the fence? And Mr. Miyagi throws a punch right at him, and instinctively, boom, Danielson blocked the punch, right? And Mr. Miyagi said, look, we're teaching you the fundamentals. And a lot of this stuff's going to be the same way. You guys are like, why in the world? I know my market, Russell. I know what they want already. Why am I running an Ask campaign? Why have I set up a stupid thing? You may be saying that right now, but I promise you guys, just trust me. There's so much value out of what I'm showing you guys that'll come later. And it might not make clear sense for you right now, but if you have these assets, as we move forward, everything you do will be better. You'll be more likely to make money. It'll be faster. It'll be easier. So taking this from somebody who's gone down this road before, who's developed hundreds of products in a dozen different markets and has coached people through this more times than I can even count on, that I can even think about. just trust me on this and follow me through this process and go through it with me. Go through the steps, and I promise you guys, if you do that, it'll all make perfect sense. And in a week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, you'll be like, oh, this makes sense. Okay, just like Mr. Miyagi, I'll throw a punch at you and you'll be able to block it, and you'll be like, boom, Russell, I filled out my Ask campaign. I get it now. I've got 100 responses. Now I can do the copy for my video. It all makes sense now. Okay, that's what I want for you guys. I just want for you guys to be successful in the shortest period of time. And what we're taking you guys through right now is what I feel is the shortest period of time, but you have got to implement it. Otherwise, it won't work. So that's it. All right. Good. Okay, and the last question Eugene just asked on the Ask campaign, how do you know some people? So we fill out the thing right here. The page that Flycatcher Generator creates, it asks for their name and their email, so it'll store it all there in the database, and then you can just email them back personally afterwards. Or I think you can export it and upload it to an autoresponder as well, but I just personally email them back, and that's kind of how I do it. All right, cool. Thanks, you guys. So again, I'll post up your homework here so you can see it one more time. So do your market research, find 3 competitors, set up your Flycatcher page, run an Ask campaign, and create your system outline. If you have those tools for us by next week, we'll be ready, because next week we are creating your free plus shipping thing, you guys. And if you've got this stuff done, it's going to be super easy. If you don't, it's going to be kind of frustrating. And you're going to see me. We're actually going to be doing this process this entire week. I'll be running my Ask campaign. I'll be having my Flycatcher page, my system outline will all be done for you guys by the time I get back here next Tuesday. So if I'm doing it, you got to do it as well, okay? What good is a coach if he's not willing to do it as well? So I'm going to do the same thing as you guys. I'll have the same stats, same results, and very quickly you'll see how all these pieces go together. All right. Cool. Betty said, can I set up an Ask campaign in Google+? I don't have a Facebook account. I guess you can if you can find a group in Google+. I've never used Google+. I would recommend biting the bullet and fight against Zuckerberg. He's fighting you hard, but you should probably get a Facebook fan page, just because you got to go where people are at. Okay, in Facebook there are millions of groups on every topic you can dream of. You can join those groups and you can get your market research almost immediately. So it's definitely worth biting the bullet and sticking it to Zuckerberg and just doing it if you're fighting it. I got a programmer who refused for like a year to get a Facebook account. And I said, dude, if you don't get a Facebook account, I will fire you, because you need to have one, because we're integrating with Facebook. Okay, by the end of this training, you guys are going to be doing ads in Facebook, so you need to have a Facebook account. So I would just get one. If you want to use Google Plus as well, I guess you can. I just don't know how to do that. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, Chris has asked if he's not sure if his niche will support a backend. Again, shoot me an email, and I'll look at that. Or if you're watching the archives, submit me a video or an audio question, and I'll respond back to you guys there as well. And I can give you my feedback specifically on your niche. All right, guys, that is it. And yeah, thanks, you guys, and I will talk to you all soon.